Hello everyone, how are you doing today? We're going to get started. We're going to get cranked up, talk about a little bit of listings. Today we're talking about the listing process and how can we grow our business, how can we have more success with listings. I always say to list is to last. One of the most important things we can do as a real estate agent is to list properties. Now there's two different sides of the business. You know, we have the buyer side, which is buyer agency, which is great, and then we also have the listing side. I always say the quickest way to get paid in real estate, the quickest way to make money in real estate is to get a buyer, because you can literally get a buyer and within 14 to 30 days you can have a check in your hand. So the quickest way to make money, the quick way to make money is buyer agency. And that's a great thing, and we all should have buyer agency. And if you're a platinum real estate agent, you can go into the agent portal, and we have a lot of great information, videos, webinars, as well as ebooks on buyer agency and becoming a good buyer agent. But the other side of the coin is listings. And we always say to list is to last. Listing presentations, having listings is very important. Why? Because when you have a listing business, when you're growing your business because of listing will produce buyers. Now, it'll take a little longer to grow your listing, the listing side of the business, but to list is to last, because a sign in the yard, one listing can produce 10, 12, 15 more buyers. So listings can produce buyers. So to list is to last. My goal today is to give you about 17 different powerful strategies you can use when listing properties. Because it's very important to have a strong listing program, because when you have a strong listing program, you also have a very, very strong business, and listings can produce buyers. Because sometimes, you know, I have agents say, Luther, I only want to do one thing, is buyer's agencies. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you have a listing can produce buyers. The first thing that I want to discuss today is strategies on how we can have more success when we get a listing. Now, I have an entire ebook. It's a listing manual. It will show you step by step how to start and grow your listing business. If you don't have it, go to Amazon.com, or you can go to LutherRagsdale.com. At LutherRagsdale.com, I have the listing manual. You can make that investment and get the manual there. Very, very powerful manual that discuss listings from A to Z, from starting your business all the way to getting the listing, making the presentation, etc. Today, I just want to talk about some creative things you can do once you have that listing to sell that listing quicker. I want to talk about some things you should do every single time you have a listing. Number one, for instance, on the screen you will see, whenever you have a listing, so you advertise, you market, and that seller calls you and the seller says, come by my house. I want you to give me a listing presentation. I want to know more about my home. Now, we all know you always have with you what we call a CMA, comparative market analysis. You always want a CMA to tell the seller the price of the home. But here's the reality. A lot of that information, and some of that information, is already on the internet. It should already be on your website. At Platinum Real Estate, you should have a custom website. Our agents have the opportunity to have a custom website. And on your website, you should already have the value of every home in the local area where a person can go to your website and figure out the value. So now we have to do more than just say, here's what your property is worth. Now we have to tell our seller what I'm going to do different than the agent up the street or the agent around the corner to help sell this property faster. The first thing we want to do is have the seller fill out a seller's questionnaire. What's a seller's questionnaire? You want to ask open-ended questions, and I like to have answers from 1 to 10. And I want to ask questions like, how do you rank the overall condition of your property from 1 to 10? 1 being poor, 10 being fabulous. Where do you think that your house ranks from 1 until 10? Why is this a important question? Well, first of all, I want to know what they feel about the home. Sometimes you have sellers who feel their home is a 10, but it needs a lot of major repair. I also have sellers who rank their home at a 2, 3, or a 4, and the house is absolutely fabulous. The house is perfect. So I want to get a feel of what the seller feels. This helps me understand how I need to approach this situation. I always recommend things that the seller can do to stage the house or to make the house ready for sale. But there's a way that I need to go about doing this. I do not need to, let's say, insult a seller. If a seller says their house is a 10 and they feel their house is perfect, but yet it needs a lot of repair, and sometimes this happens because people fall in love with their home. I have to be very sensitive on how I suggest some changes. Here's another question, but that I always ask: how quickly are you looking to move? Are you a motivated seller? How soon would you like to sell and move this particular home? That's very important to me as well. Because some people are casually looking to list their home. Others want to sell their home very quickly. It's very important that I understand what's going on. In my listing manual, I go through several questions you should ask every seller when it's time to list and to sell their home. This helps you understand exactly how fast they are looking to sell their home. Next thing, every listing presentation, you always want to ask to pre-tour the home. You want to tour the entire home, from the front yard to the backyard, from the roof all the way down to the basement. You want to tour this home. You want to take quality photos as well as videos. One major mistake agents make when listing properties in MLS and FMLS, when you list a home, you want to put at least 20 pictures of that home on your local MLS. You want those same pictures on your website. You want the video on your website. Every agent, you should have your own YouTube channel. You should put that listing video on your YouTube channel. Personally, I love smartphones now. Smartphones have quality, high quality video that you can take directly from your iPad, tablet, cell phone. You can take quality video and quality pictures and then put that on your local MLS, put that on your website, and put that on your YouTube channel. Every time that I have a listing, I actually have a video. I upload the video to YouTube, then I take the link from YouTube. I then put it on my website. I put it on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I put it all over social media, and videos sell. Pictures don't lie. Videos sell. I want to say that again. Pictures never lie. You have heard, pictures will say 1,000 words. That's very, very true. Pictures don't lie. Videos will sell. In this business, you want quality picture and quality video. I have actually owned Samsung. I have owned iPhones. I have owned them all, but recently I have really got into the iPhones, and I actually traded in my iPhone strictly for a better picture, for better video, because in this business I upgraded my phone strictly for the picture and the video quality, because in this business, every property you list, every property you look at, every property you sell, you want quality video and quality audio. I have taken a lot of testimonial pictures and videos directly from my smart device. When it comes to listings, photos and videos, very, very important. It is an absolute must. You want to create the video during the walkthrough. Now, on that video, you always want to describe the better parts of the house. Now, that's very important. When I take a picture to put pictures on the local MLS, I always recommend 20 pictures at least. But I want 20 quality pictures that show the best of the home. I never want to put up a picture on the local MLS or on my website that's not showing the best for the home. The video, I typically take the video during a walkthrough, but I do not take that video during the initial listing presentation because typically it will take me longer to actually put together the video itself. So many times I will schedule a separate appointment, another appointment, to actually do a live walkthrough just to complete the video. Next, during the listing presentation, I always ask for what's their favorite place to eat, shopping, movies, parks, schools, the whole nine. Because I always tell my seller I am going to take that information and within the listing, in all of my marketing materials, from my website to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, postcards, flyers, everything, when I market this property, I will include all of the great amenities within the community, such as where to shop, where to go to the movies, where to eat, the local parks, and one thing that's very, very important, the local school district. I will always take pictures of the local school, and I always have that as a part of my marketing as I am marketing the home for the seller. So I get the information from the seller of what they like, and then I also go out and I get different places for myself. So it's very, very important when listing property is to emphasize all of the great areas. Next, create a storyboard on your website, and you always want to, on your website, create a storyboard, and also on your blog. You want to create the best image for the home that you're selling. I always take hyperlinks and I link back to different places to eat, different places to shop, different movies. For instance, if I am listing a property, let's say in Buckhead, that's close to Lenox Mall. When I advertise great places to shop, Lenox Mall, I will take a link and I will link back to Lenox Mall so my prospective seller can actually click on that link and they can say, see, ooh, Lenox Mall is a great place to go shopping. And that's just one example. So restaurants, movies, place to shop, I actually have a hyperlink on my website, on my blog, that goes back to different areas where a person can shop, watch the movies, those type of things. So advertising is very important, as we know, and using hyperlinks will absolutely help sell the property each and every time. The next thing that I always do, whenever I have a listing presentation, I always go to the actual seller and I say, hey, let me show you the type of buyer that I'm going to be targeting, that I'm going to be marketing to help sell your home. Is it the new millennium? Is it the retired? Is it the family? Is it the single individual? Is it the college student? What's the target market for this particular home? Every single home that you list will have a different type of a target market. It's very important that you understand what's the target market, who will be interested in this particular type of home, who will be interested in purchasing this particular type of home in this particular area. It's very important that your seller understands what's the target market, that's one, and two, how am I going to reach out and touch that target market? What avenues, what tools will I use to market your property? And there's a lot of them out there, from traditional ways like postcards, mail outs, those type of things, all the way to more recent things such as social media, my website, my blog. I always tell my clients, I will sell your home, but I use a lot of different avenues to get it sold, one being my blog. At Platinum Real Estate, you have an opportunity to blog. And I always say you should blog on a weekly basis. Tell your clients every single time that you blog, you will have their home on your blog as one of your listings. This is very powerful for several reasons. One, it helps you sell your property, sell the properties quicker, but also I said a listing can produce buyers. Many times I have had buyers contact me off of my blog or by visiting my website. They have contacted me and they have said, I am interested in this particular house. I call that a double whammy. I can get paid for representing the buyer. I can get paid for representing the seller. This is a great thing. Always drive traffic to your website. Now, I have been talking about blogs. I've talked about social media. One thing that I always tell my sellers at the listing presentation is simply this. I will take your listing and I will do a lot of different ways to market your listing, such as flyers, direct mail, postcards, letters, social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. But I always take all of the traffic from all of those different marketing ideas, all of them different marketing ways, and I always drive that traffic back to my website. Why do I do that? Because I can put more information, videos, pictures, community information, the local school information. I can put a lot of quality information on my website that I cannot do on some of the other advertising forms, such as a local postcard can just tell you so much. Facebook will only allow you to, give so much information about the listing. You cannot have 23 pictures, 30 pictures on a Facebook post. It's just not going to happen. But you can take that Facebook post and say, for more information, visit my website, LutherRagsdale.com. Then, when a person goes to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, they get some information, but then the key is to say, click on this link, LutherRagsdale.com, and go back to my personal website. You always want to drive traffic back to your personal website because everything starts and stops at that personal website. Next, very important, always use a tablet during your presentation. Whether you use PowerPoint, Keynote, whatever you use, always use a tablet during your presentation. You should have postcards. You should have examples of other properties that you currently have listed or that you have listed in the past. All this should be on your tablet and should be a part of the presentation. One of the keys to getting that listing that will take you heads and tails above your competition is to use the tablet. Use the tablet to actually give the presentation. So actually take your client step by step. So if you were listing properties, let's say in Buckhead, in Atlanta, Georgia, and this property is close to, again, Lenox Mall, have pictures, have links, have videos of Lenox Mall, and then have that on your tablet as a part of your overall presentation. Statistics, notes, these things should be on your tablet. You should understand the local school district, the positives. You should emphasize the local school district in the presentation to your seller and have that on your tablet. We live in a digital age. Right now, it's very important that you use media to help you sell the seller on allowing you to list the property. Always show examples of what their home will look like on the different social media platforms, such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. Have examples of other properties that you've listed. Have examples of what their property can and will look like when you list their properties. Explain to them that you will feature their property on all of your social media platforms. You're doing a couple of things here. First of all, I am at the top of my game. I have Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube page. Most agents don't have a YouTube channel. If you do not have one, please go to LutherRagsdale.com. I have specific training just on how to start and set up your own YouTube page. You want to show this seller, I have a YouTube page, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Show them your blog. Show them your blog and how you will market and advertise their property on your blog. This is very powerful, and it will help you get the listing because your seller will understand you have multiple ways to sell their property, and you have a lot more ways to sell their property than just the average everyday real estate agent. Explain to the seller the power of the blog. Now, I have specific training on LutherRagsdale.com that strictly talks about blogs. So I'm not going to go real in depth today, but let me just give you one example or kind of how your blog should work. First, what is a blog? A blog is nothing more than, think of it as a mini website, as a small website. You can take that blog, you can take that home that you're listing and you can feature it on your blog. So every time you release a blog, you are releasing a website on Google for the world to see. Also, explain to your client that you publish a newsletter. I tell all agents you should have a weekly newsletter that goes out to all of your clients. and every house that you have listed should be featured in your weekly newsletter and even your blog. You should blog and have a new blog at least 3 times a week. You should launch 3 new blogs every week, and every time you launch a blog, you should have your listing on the blog. When you have your listing presentations, always bring examples of flyers, direct mail pieces of other listings, or of what you are going to do for this particular listing. This will help the seller understand that you are going to be actively marketing their listing on a daily basis. Bring examples of flyers, direct mail pieces, and other things that you can do to help market and sell your client's listings. This is big. On your tablet, when you are giving your PowerPoint presentation or your Keynote presentation, you should have graphs and charts and statistics showing information about the neighborhood, information about the community, and information about how you will sell this home, the number of days that homes are typically on the market, your CMA report, how much the home is worth. All of this should be in graph, charts, and stats within your presentation on your tablet. Very, very powerful information. It will help you get that listing every single time. Remember this, the more you tell, the more you will sell. Let me say again, the more you tell, the more you will sell. So, the more you tell that seller, the more information you give that seller about the community, about the school district, about other properties that's listed in the area. The more you tell, the more you will sell. Never ever think you can give too much information. Charts, graphs, stats, these things will help you sell the property. It will help you get that listing each and every time. Now, last but not least, video. Now, I have training strictly on this area. Obviously, it's a very broad area, so it's a lot more than what I could ever tell in this short period of time. But please remember this. 70% of home buyers use video, okay? This is very important. Whether it's on your website, on your blog, social media, video, and more more video. Every single real estate agent should have a YouTube channel. Period, plain and simple. You should have testimonies. You should have listings. You should have all of this information on your YouTube channels. Videos help sell. You should show previous videos of previous listing presentations each and every listing appointment. Now, I know some of you agents are saying, Luther, hey, listen, I'm just getting started. I don't have any listings yet. What do I do as if this is my first listing? No problem. What you should do then is use video to discuss and to talk about what you will do when you get the listing. Listings are extremely important.
It's 1 o'clock.
And videos will help you sell a listing every single time because 70% of all buyers use 70% of all buyers use video when purchasing a house. There is two very powerful things you have to sell any listing. One being videos, and the second being pictures. With that being said, you guys, for more information on how you can sell your listings, on how you can take your listings to the next level, please go to my website, thru.com. I do have a great listing manual. You can invest in yourself and get that manual. That listing manual will help you tremendously. Obviously, in this short period of time, I could not tell you everything that I would like to tell you because of time restraints. But I want you to go to my website, ragsdale.com, invest in yourself, and get that listing manual. It will help you 100%. Okay? Now I'm going to now open it up for some questions.